who is going to come into the accelerator. What's the 10 million going to be used for? Because it seems like if they're bringing in the product and you've got the team that's able to help them expand the product, what's that model going to look like?
So to launch a successful consumer brand and scale it costs millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Because creating a brand, even though there's social media and there are ways to do that more and more efficiently all the time, it's an expensive channel going through retail grocery or e-commerce, whatever your strategy is. And so it is expensive. What we're trying to do is to start with a brand that's already making some cash, and that we're running it through our platform. Our platform, if you want to think about it, has the expertise on the branding, go-to-market, sales, marketing, research, package design network that we work with. And so we're building the capability in the Verge Accelerator platform and deploying it across multiple companies, as opposed to replicating that one company at a time. So we get efficiency through that process, but we have expertise because of that. So we're building our own portfolio of brands, which is often done through roll-up or other ways. We're creating our own portfolio that will have a higher degree of exit. And so if you think about the model this way, so we start with the contract manufacturer. Their primary issue is, I have a production line and I need to make something on it. I have line time. That's where I make my money. And maybe I packed for another brand and they had a successful exit, and half my business just walked out the door because it was purchased by a big food company, and who can make it themselves. So now I have line time. So I need it now. So hey, how hard can it be to make a brand and make it work? So I'll create a brand and I put it in the market, and it does $1 million, $2 million in revenue. It kicks off $100,000, but it's not going anywhere because something's wrong. It's not right. It missed the market. So we look first for that. And we look at the capability, and then we have the ability to add to that. So you start with, and I have an example, and we don't need to jump to the slide, but so we've already have a pipeline. So you should know that we have a pipeline of opportunities, and the first one that describes the model the best is this. So there's a company in Texas. They're a $200 million company. Their primary expertise is in making salsas and sauces and Bloody Mary mixes and other such things. A few years ago, they said, hey, we'll develop a brand. And they have a nice brand. It relates to their Texas background. And they don't know what the heck to do with it. So, their options are hire somebody to come fix it on a consulting model, or, how are we ultimately going to monetize this? And as long as we keep making the product, we make our gross margin, we're happy. So we start with them, and then we look for something we can bolt on that can use their line time, that's in similar space, but is using maybe a different co-packer, or has a different product that we're going to evolve. And now we're bolting that on. So now we have two brands. They're both making a little bit of money, but not very much. And we have collaboration and synergies through that process. Does that help?
It's a portfolio company, so how do you make money? Is it you just charging your services? And
No. So they contribute what they have developed and their little bit of cash for house money to play with. And we contribute the expertise. They keep 40% or 49% equity. We get the majority. It goes into NewCo. The money that's coming through the fund goes into NewCo to help then get it ready for true Series A seed round, so it can really start scaling.
So every product is its own company?
Every brand opportunity is going into a NewCo LLC that is then being managed under the Verge platform.
So you're basically a holdco. You're a holdco that has 51% interest in a bunch of products that you think that you can add value to.
Yes, that we can exit and monetize. Yes, and so we're creating the culture, we're building the opportunity, we're validating it in the market in terms of scalability. And then once it's ready to go into market, then you build out a dedicated team.
To that
I meant go to market to raise more money, not, it's already in the market. It's already validated in the market.
And to that end, how many exits have you had so far?
Well, this is brand new. So Verge began as a consulting firm, and my partner that I'm working with, 2 managing partners in this fund, has been doing this kind of consulting work for 25 years. And the biggest frustration you have is you don't control the process and the path going forward. So your success rate of seeing the value of all the work you do is not very rewarding because they still fail. Because they're still living in the place where they don't know what they're doing. You can only do so much in consumer products. And if you haven't lived this industry, you don't understand the channel, the relationships with retailers. I mean, it's a complex industry, and it's not something you just learn because you make the product. So 25 years of that. We have companies already lined up. We have letters of intent saying, I'm in, when can we start? So that's why we're raising money now.
And when you say companies lined up, you mean a dozen, 2 dozen?
We have 12 in the pipeline. We have 3 already in this first sauce space ready to go. The next opportunity is taking a unique application of an antioxidant and putting it in trying not to disclose, in a sweet snack, shall I say. And that technology, with a manufacturer backing it, has real market potential to be the next. So we're kind of building small little platforms under a very synergistic large platform. So, I mean, if you know anything about large consumer products companies, this is what they do. They build the ecosystem, then they staff with very few people each brand, and they leverage their clout from the ecosystem. They have a brand manager, maybe an associate brand manager, and those people drive the brand under a P&L model. So we're replicating that on a very small scale, the same way that large CPG food and beverage companies build out their brands efficiently.
Follow up to that. So the way tell me if this is right, it's the way I'm trying to put it together. So I give you $10 million, you use that to attract companies because they're not going to come and give you 51%, they're coming to get your services.
Yes.
So you take part of my money to seed all these companies, right?
Yes.
Of which I have to trust that you can pick them, you can
Yes.
finance them further, and you can create exits for all of them so that I somehow get a return.
Yes.
And you've done that
because we have
before.
a track record of multiple brands that we've done that before, from as being either CEO or part of the sales and marketing team who has done that.
So tell me about the experience that you have in picking product winners, financing them, and exiting them on your own.
So the team has that experience collectively working together or independently. This team that we're assembling. So I mentioned, for instance, the VP, senior VP partner on the operational side on sales, go to market. So vitamin water, Crave, Jerky, and Bark Thins.
That person was responsible for raising the $200 million.
He did not raise money, I raised money. Okay. So my last company was Prosperity Organic Foods. We started with $100,000 in revenue. I raised $10 million over multiple rounds. And we scaled that company to distribution in 10,000 doors across North America. And it's now in its next evolution of the leader to continue to scale that so that they can have an exit. So I was very early on that one, from scratch. Greta, my other managing partner, the one that is the Verge Consulting Company, has many examples of companies she worked with, one in the ice cream space. The slides are up there somewhere, but collectively we have, White Wave is another one. I mean, we have collectively done this in multiple other places.
How do we get our money back?
When we exit, when we sell the company.
So it's like $10 million for 10 deals, we get $1 million in each. Do we get the 51%, or you guys take how much for your services?
No. So what happens is, so the 10 million is going to go into 10 companies at various levels, and so your money is going to be in those newcos.
Yep.
We're going to hold 20% up back to us, so that's to develop the platform, build out the resources, and do the initial research, so consumer research and validation in the marketplace.
And then we get 30.
And your money is going to execute against driving distribution and building out the revenue on the sales and marketing side.
So we get 31% ownership in all the underlying entities.
It's not going to always be, equal, but if it were equal, yes.
Okay.
That's correct.
So I get what you're doing, because I spent the last couple of years buying up a bunch of orphan brands.
This is what we're talking about.
Yeah, I
exactly.
bought up 8 different orphan brands, and now they're my portfolio, and I'm trying to take them to market. If I understand your model, first of all, is this an actual company, or is this just a well-rehearsed idea at this point?
We met with the attorneys this week, and we're drawing up the paperwork, so we're ready to go, because we have opportunities that are knocking on the door saying, let's go.
Okay. And is this going to be each of y'all's full-time job?
Yes.
Okay. And then out of the 10 million, how much of it goes initially just to sink into your infrastructure so you can support yourself, pay yourself, versus how much gets deployed?
20% goes to the Verge platform to source deals and to build our initial infrastructure.
Okay, so hypothetically, you got 10 million today, 2 million's going into an account to support you and your 4 other partners.
Yes.
Okay, and then the rest gets deployed, finding companies.
Yes.
Taking them to market.
Well, no, the part of the 2 million is to find the companies, vet the companies, because part of what we need to do up front, yeah, same idea, but we have to do up front is this is finding the hidden gems. I mean, not everybody's going to want to turn over 51% of their, supposed next big thing, and we need to have some confidence that we have an idea of how we can turn this thing around. We're not going to go in blind, buy an orphan band, and say, well, whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay. It's more deliberate than that. That's why the 20% is high, higher than the normal sort of management fee, development fee. Go find the opportunities. Okay. So the 80%, the 8 million, is going to get deployed specifically in each of those new cos, focused on the go-to-market piece that has to happen next.
Right.
Okay, we have time for one more question, Angel Sharks, if necessary.
So my guess follow-up question to that is, what I've learned in my short time in this space is it's all about distribution.
Yes.
How you can get into all
Absolutely.
the stores, get your brand on shelves where people can see it and buy it.
You got it.
One of your partners, what's their experience with distribution?
So that's our sales operating partner. So he's done sales strategy. He has a team who are independent contractors who follow him wherever he goes. They followed him from Vitamin Water to Crave Jerky to Bark Thins, and now they're going to follow him to this. They're all in, they love working for him, and what I love about him is his strategy is pick the first, best, and highest returning distribution channel and get it done. And they have tons of relationships out there because they've done it over and over and over again. And the retail side in particular, whether it's natural channel, conventional channel, club stores, whatever, those still are very heavy relationship based. And even the food brokers that work on our behalf, typically, those relationships with people that hire them are really important. And I also bring those relationships. I built my own independent food brokerage sales system for my last company, and they were all very happy. They're still representing the brand, and we bring a culture of sort of this win-win collaboration. I'm going to help you. I'm going to open up more doors for you. So between us, we have a very solid way to go to market and be successful.
Thank you very much, Meg Carlson.
Thank you.